So the three different ways I'm going to show you how to make bow embellishments are with a thinlits die, with an envelope punch board, and just by cutting strips out of your scrap. So with the thinlits die, I just used it and I ran it through my die cutting machine. Your dies are already shaped and they already have the pieces to go over them to seal. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how you can put those together after you run them through your die machine. So the first thing you want to do is you want to break down the fibers in the papers just a little bit. So you're going to use your bone folder and you're just going to come right along and just run it on that paper or that cardstock. Now I use the the Craft Perfect textured gold card on that. And we're just going to go ahead and get these all. And on this, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little bit there so that when I go to wrap it around, it's not going to be as difficult to maneuver. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your card, and this is going to fold in and then it's going to fold out, and you're going to do that on both sides. It's going to fold you're going to take the two first divots in, the two valleys, and those two valleys are going to fold in to the center valley, and then that's going to fold out. So this valley is going to fold into the center valley, and then you're going to take that and you're going to fold it out. So let's go ahead and get those glued. Now I'm going to show you here. Looks like a bikini top, doesn't it? But we have a mountain, a valley, a mountain, a valley, a mountain, a valley. And we're going to take the two outer valleys and we're going to bring them to meet to the center valley. But we want to do it on the back side. And we want the thinnest piece on both sides to meet up with the thinnest piece on the center. So let's go ahead and put our glue there again. And we're going to fold that in. Let it grab and fold that last piece out. Fold it in so the two thinner pieces meet up, and then fold it back out. I'm going to hold it just a moment for that glue to grab. I want to take a little bit of that glue and put it between the bow part and the tail on both sides. And I'm just going to let that hold for a minute. Now you have your pieces here. These are bigger pieces and they're smaller pieces that are going to wrap around the center of our bow right there. So I'm going to just take it on one side and I'm going to add some glue. And onto the front where that's going to grab and wrap around. And I'm just going to wrap that right on around the front of my bow and onto the back. And let's go ahead and do this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some more across the back of those. And grab my reverse tweezers and let that hold there while I get this one wrapped around and right into place. Hold that one. Now I'm just going to trim what's hanging over here. I don't need that. And now you can push up, and I take my little bow pieces and I kind of push it in a little bit, and that gives you a nice fluffy bow. And there you have your bows put together using your dies, a bow die. Once again, push that little bow in, and the same on that one there. I don't want it to look squared, so I'm going to go ahead and just use a round object in there to help pull that out. And there you have it. So I'm going to go ahead and get these done and get back with you. So there's the ones made with your Thinlit dies. Let's move on. So using your envelope punch board, I have my scraps here, and I have a 1x8 and I have a 1x7. So you want to make sure that you're going to punch this in the center. So this is 7 inches, and half of 7 is 3.5. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to bring it to my 3.5 inch mark. I'm going to punch it. I'm going to flip it over, 3.5, and punch it. Now half of that, well, I want to be able to bring down and have my tails. So I'm actually going to just do it at 1.5, which is where this tail is here. I'm going to flip it over and do another 1.5. And do a 1.5 on the other side. And a 1.5 on the other side. And it kind of looks like candy. So let's get all these punched. Seven inch, 3.5, flip it, 3.5, bring it down, 1.5, flip it, 1.5, other end, 1.5. So on my 8 inch, I'm going to bring it at 4 because half of 4 is 8. I'm going to punch it, flip it, and punch it. Now this paper is a cloth paper, so it's going to be a little more difficult to punch. And then I'm going to bring this at 1 3/4. And flip it, 1 3/4. this side 1 3/4, flip it 1 3/4, and there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and get these done. 4, flip 4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4. So for these, we'll start with the purple and gold ones here. On the ends, I want to get a little bit of a tail, so I'm just going to snip up slightly, and then on the corner in, on the corner in. Right in the center, snip up probably about 1/4 inch on the corner in, and on the corner in, just to give it a nice little fishtail. Let's go ahead and get our pink ones done here, a little fabric paper. Okay, so just like we did with the ones from the die, we're going to use our bone folder, and we're just going to shape that just into enough of a curve to give us a bow. And then I want to do the same on the outside for the tails. Let's start with the purple ones. I'm going to put the blue in the center. Bring that valley, just like we did on the others, in and fold it. And in and fold it. Those meet right in the middle. My reverse tweezers there, and let it hold it in place. Now the same way with these, you want to do a little wrap around to give a finished look on the front. So I just took some of the scrap and cut it. Going to give it a little bit of some bone folder here. Let's go ahead. Put that on the front. Bring it on over to the back. I'm going to cover that seam. And cover that seam. Hold that right on down while we finish the others. Bring it right on up. Let that one hold. So I'm gonna bring my bone folder in and fluff up those little bows. And there we have some of the bows. From the envelope punch board. Alright, let me go ahead and get these cloth ones done. So there are our envelope punch board bows. Let's go ahead and get those fluffed up. And they are, you know, much bigger, and you can do some adjustments on them, but those turned out very pretty. So the last thing I'm going to show you is how to do them just with scrap paper and scissors, or look at those, either with scissors or using your paper trimmer. Okay, so what if you don't have envelope punch board or any dies? Well, you can take some scrap paper or cardstock, as I've used. Now I just have multiple sizes here, and so I took a ruler. This is my Tim Holtz ruler. I'll move this out of the way so we have more room to measure. So we're going to measure it, and here we have, it is 7.5 inches. So we're going to take it, and it's going to be 3 3/4 on each side. And you're going to mark that. And then we are going to mark this, because we now have 3 3/4, 3.5. 3 inches would be 1.5. And let's go ahead and do this at 1 3/4 and 1 3/4 on both sides from the center. So I measured it right down the center. I'm going to go ahead and make my centerpiece. And now I'm going to take both ends here and fold them at the 1 3/4 and then at the 1 3/4. I'm going to bring them up together, and I'm going to trim those so that they have a much thinner point in the middle. And I'm going to open that up, and there we have it. So let's slide that stuff up and out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and make our little ends. Right up the center, just like we did on the ones from the envelope punch board. Right up the center, and then from the corner to the top of the cut, from the corner to the top of that cut. Up the center of that, corner to the top, corner to the top. And one more side. Now when you're making these on your own, you can do all sorts of widths and lengths. So, you know, play with it, see what is working for you. Since I'm videoing, I wanted something that's going to be a little easier for you to see. I could have done it thinner. I have a thinner one there. But now I'm just going to take, and I'm going to maneuver. Let's do the same on this side. And then we want the edges to come up, not under. And so let's get our glue on there. Right across the center. And remember, we're going to pull that valley just like we did on the envelope punch board and the dies. I'm going to pull those valleys right on in there. Hold it for a moment. You can get your tweezers and grab it and let that sit while we do our next one. So on the center, we're going to curl so that the top is curled up, and then we're going to take the tails and curl them so they're curling out. Turn that upside down. Glue across the center of that valley. Second valley in. Second valley in. Bring that on down. Meet in the middle. And hold it on there. So, now I have my scrap pieces over here, and we don't need them this long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that in half. Some across the top center of that bow. Wrap that, well, I want the design part on the top, so I need to flip that around. Turn it over. Glue and wrap. Glue and wrap. Now I'm going to grab this one and let it hold on to that. And let's take another piece of scrap here. Hold it there. So now that we have these done, I'm going to go ahead and fluff them up. I'm going to just use a round. This is a scoring tool. I'm just going to go ahead and stick that in there. Just round it out a bit. And bring it on the other side and do the same. There's that one. Let's get our tweezers off this last one here. Now you can embellish these with gems or buttons or flowers or however you want, but there are your basic bows 3 different ways. So once again, we have bows with our dies, which are these, move them out of the way here, bows with the die cut right here. Bows from the envelope punch board are right here. And the bows made out of our scrap using our scissors and our ruler are right here at the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not already hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like this type of videos. It'll let me know that you enjoy them and I can make more embellishment or more tutorials like this. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to know when I've uploaded a new video. So that all being said, it is free. I love hearing your comments below. If you have a comment for me, if there's something else you'd like to see, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. As always, God bless, stay safe, and bye for now.